All right, so we'll go. All right. So we're going to have a quick chat about how to get stronger during lockdown. Obviously, what we define as strength in this isn't going to be like your 1RM sort of lifts or anything like that. You're not going to be improving your deadlift. You could do, but it's going to be very slim. You might add a kilo or something, but getting you into what we're going to talk about today is getting you into better positions so that when we get back into the gym, then we'll be able to move more weight. And it's also like stuff we can do at home while we're away from the gym. It's perfect time to work on those things and then hit it hard when we do get back into the gym. Yeah. Guys?
So like Jan said, it's not about improving our strength as in how much weight we can pick up. It's about all the little things that add up to being stronger and more well-rounded in what you're doing. So things like working on technique. So front rack position, for example, is a really good one. So when we've got our barbell on our shoulders here, where people have difficulty getting into that position, if we can't sit with the barbell comfortable on our shoulders, as soon as we go into that clean, you'll often see where we miss it and the bar will fall to the front because our elbows are either down underneath the bar. So as soon as that weight comes down, it's just going to carry on to the floor. So rather than thinking about being stronger to clean more weight, actually working on technique and getting a better front rack position. So when we're coming under the bar and we're catching here, and that barbell is now on our shoulders, you're then going to be, because you'll be more comfortable and you're actually underneath it.
Yeah,
that means, throwing around, whatever particular weight in a workout, if you're struggling, your elbows are here.
Yeah.
If you can get to here with that same weight, that should then feel more comfortable and should be easier to do. Yeah,
and it's like improving that, I said a minute ago, not improving that necessarily that maximal strength, but your ability to do more reps at a lighter load because you're moving more efficiently.
Yeah.
You're not fighting as hard to get into a position. I use like a bit of a cue when like teaching a clean. First, you've got to catch the bar. The first job in a snatch is to catch the bar.
Yeah.
First job in a clean to catch the bar. If you're not in a good position here, doesn't matter how strong your legs are.
Yeah, you're not going to get under it. It's you'll get to that point. You might have the strength to be able to stand up with the weight, but the law of physics, if you've got a heavy barbell and your elbows are behind the bar or facing down, that weight is moving downwards. And the reason we want front rack position is to get that weight on our shoulders. And if we're here and that barbell is now in front of our shoulders, the law of physics is saying that it's going to go to the floor.
Yeah, I think like one of the easiest ways to sort of explain it is like things want to be in a more upright position. If that bar's sitting on top of you here, say 100 kilos here, weighs 100 kilos, but if it's out here, then it's just going to pull you down straight away.
Yeah.
You're just a big lever. The steeper over that lever is that.
Yeah,
the more force that you're going to need to make to bring it back up.
Yeah. Same in that actually that working off that is exactly the same with pushing a weight overhead. How we always say we want that head through and weight stacked above our shoulders. Again, if you think about that same thing, so if we're locked out here in that correct position, that's being in that bolt upright position. And if that weight is now out in front, you think of grab anything, a tin of beans out the cupboard, a water bottle, and hold it in front of your head, but with your arm straight, and see how long you can hold it for. It ain't got to be that long. It's got to feel really bloody heavy, really quick.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you were to hold that same weight locked out here, you'd be able to hold it for a lot longer because you're more stable. It's a better position.
Yeah, and we just used Alison as that.
So Alison in the last lockdown done mobility every day, all for her shoulders. And I'm sure if people want to message her and see she took some photos of the difference in them. So if anyone wants to see that, I'm sure she won't mind. But the difference so for her, that mobility and her thoracic mobility at the top of her spine to get overhead, working on that every day. And then just before Christmas, smashed out her 1RM push press for 2 reps.
Yeah.
just like it was nothing, just purely because that was then a more comfortable position to get into. It wasn't necessarily that she has got any stronger. She had that strength. It was the mobility and then technique that.
Yeah, you said a really good word then, which was being more comfortable. And I say this again, I've used this multiple times, is when people feel comfortable in a position, you're then going to have that confidence to then throw yourself underneath the barbell and catch a bar in that position. You're not going to have any like hesitation that's going to feel weird, or it's going to feel like wrong being in that position. You're going to
in your head, if you know you're not comfortable, you're going to be going, oh, this is going to hurt, or this isn't going to happen, it's not going to go up. If you know you can get into that position, you hit it with more confidence. Yeah,
which is when you get injured, is when you hesitate going into a position and you try and go into a different position which isn't correct, and then that's when you end up.
Or then the weight forcing you into that position when mobility and other things will try and stop you.
Yeah, I definitely noticed. When I first started like properly getting into my weightlifting, and I avoided snatch like the plague for God knows how long, simply because doing a 60 kilo overhead squat was like my biggest nightmare. I'd have like 3 pairs of lifting shoes on to try and jack my heels up so far, and belts on, knee wraps, and that will get you to a point, but then okay, let's work on our ankle mobility, let's work on those positions, and all of a sudden I spend a lot of time like working with the physio at the time and getting into better positions, and that is what added 20 kilos onto my snatch.
Yeah. It wasn't like you had that. You were strong enough to
my back hadn't increased. My deadlift hadn't increased.
Yeah,
but I'm all of a sudden snatching more loads.
Yeah. Just because now you are more comfortable in that position.
Yeah, and again, it just feels nice. And if you can if your mobility is better and everything, you've got an hour in the gym, and you don't spend half an hour just getting into a good position, and then you do a little bit of snatching, your quality of your session is going to be so much better. And people say that like during a class, it's like it takes me like half an hour. Obviously, we've only got an hour, 45 minutes at the minute to get everyone through. And if it only starts to feel nice 30 minutes into a session, you're only really getting a few lifts worth of actual work.
Yeah, that's true. So like that's like that warm up phase. Often people say, oh, by the end of a 20-minute EMOM, I'm nice and warm and it feels all right
at the time.
Yeah, it's then you want to, if you can get to a point now where those first couple of reps are now like a nice comfortable warm up, and then you feel good, and then you can start moving it a bit more and everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
So technique, so mobility, that was pretty much covered, wasn't it? And how that will help. Then the next thing is that technique. So positions with the barbell, and understanding where your body should be and where the bar should be as you're moving, particularly for like the Olympic lifts. And that will work the same way that we were saying about mobility working. So it might not be that you're not going to get any stronger, but if you go back to moving the same amount of weight but with perfected technique or more efficient technique, then that will feel more comfortable.
You're not fighting against the bar moving
and everything
away
else
from you and back to you, and that bar's moving in a straight line. You're gonna need a lot less effort and energy putting into that bar to move it this far, rather than having to go out here, back round.
Yeah, I mean, you look at anyone, even for me, like moving around with a PVC pipe or a broomstick is hard to get into the right positions, because you haven't got that weight to hold you back and force you into stuff. But what we want is if you can move through really, really slowly, so coming to standing up and moving through those positions, going through the shrug and the pull and the drop, it with a PVC pipe, but at almost slow motion speed, and understand that movement. When you then come to do it with a barbell and then adding the weight on, that then becomes second nature, which then in turn, again, builds confidence under the bar.
Yeah, and going back to that PVC pipe point, like if you can't do an overhead squat with a PVC pipe, and then how many times in a class do we hear it? It's like, okay, I need to put 40 kilos on there for it to like start feeling good. It's like, that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, because that will force you into a position, and then, like we said, that's then where injuries will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if you can an overhead squat, if you can get that with a PVC pipe, then your mobility is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I struggle to overhead squat with the PVC pipe, but I can do it and do it a lot better now than what I could do.
Yeah, and just in some like passovers with a straight arm, coming down as far as you can, round, back, round. Like, I found that helped a lot, massively. Just stretch out that position.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
if you haven't got a long enough pipe, or you are really, really inflexible through it, then using a band as well, just because it will expand a little bit, so it'll allow you to go a little bit further out to get that motion through, rather than being forced with a pipe.
I also find that you don't have to do a full passover. Like in a snatch, we only really take the bar to above the shoulders. We only really need to get flexible there. What you don't need is mobility back here.
Yeah.
And
so you'll see when grab a pipe and do a passover, and you'll find a sticking point that you go, ooh, and then it will pop right down and pop back, because here everyone can hold a bar back here, and then that's that sticking point as you come through, which when you look at it, so we're here with when we snatch, and then that just behind that is that sticking point, and it's just working through to that. So the idea of that is then we want our arms to be able to go past that. So if we ever lose a bar behind it, it's, even if your hands don't come off that barbell, you're not going to injure your shoulders by the bar falling down behind you. But you don't have, it's not about coming all the way through it. You just need to be able to get back and start pushing that and challenging that sticking point a little bit. So PVC pipe work, so for mobility, shoulders. Other mobility points would be hips.
Not just focus on the shoulder, like downstream to that, it's like your hips, ankles. The more upright your torso can be, just in an air squat. Yeah,
exactly. So you look at anyone's got kids. Ask a kid to squat, or to pick something off. But don't ask them to squat, because then they overthink it and they don't move properly. Ask them to pick something up off the floor and watch how they pick it up. They would just drop into the most perfect squat that most adults are jealous of, and we go, but that's a natural. It's a natural movement as well. Like, it's a functional thing that we do. But to be able to sit like that is golden. That's the goal. That's what you want.
Yeah, just be able to just be able to sit in your squat. Obviously, you might be a little bit sore from training. It might not happen too.
You're not going to sit there comfortably.
But if you've been moving around, walking around, and your blood flowing, and you feel warm, you should be able to just sit in a squat. Nice and comfortably.
So with going back to sort of things that you can work on in lockdown, it's those little things like mobility and stuff. And if you're no one's sure on what they should be working on, then but they want to, then like use the coaches. So like send like a video or photographs of yourself like in certain positions, doing like a squat, even with a PVC pipe, like go into that overhead squat position and just move like slowly through that and go down as far as you can and stuff. And then we can then look at that and then assess it and then go, right, so this should be your focus point, rather than trying to go, right, I'm going to fix my shoulder, ankle and hip mobility all in one go.
Triage. I always say,
like focus on one thing. Again, go back to Alison, just focusing on her shoulders
Yeah.
And then like, that lockdown was 4 weeks. And the difference in the like her position, the actual mobility was ridiculous.
People think, oh, you don't feel just like a difference in, okay, you don't stretch once, but it doesn't take long for you to, like, within a couple of weeks, you start to notice that you start hitting positions.
And that's the thing as well. And it's a hard thing to notice. And that's why, like I'd said to Alison, like, take photos, because it's one of those things you won't necessarily go, oh yeah, I feel really good now. I feel a lot more mobile. You might not really notice it. So actually taking a picture in those positions that you're doing, try and get your hands out above your head, and squatting with your arms up and keeping that nice straight line from your hands down to your hip. And then actually, in a few weeks' time, do it all again and take more photos and videos and actually see the difference. Yeah. And then you go, oh, okay, yeah. It's because I think that's the thing. A big thing with mobility is people, one, find it boring, but two, because then we don't see an instant result or a change, you don't feel it. Everyone, you give up because you go, oh well, I'm eating different.
And it doesn't burn like an air squat. Okay, like you want to burn some calories. Like, okay, my legs hurt, I'm burning calories. Yeah, I'm just stretching.
And for all that, you can do 100 calories per time on a machine, and then do that in a month and see your improvement.
Yeah, it's easy.
Mobility you can't just see it like that day to day. So actually having that viewpoint and something to go back on and go, oh, actually, like that's
those look a lot nicer. Yeah.
So working on that, things like then ROMWOD as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
So you do the class like on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
So like things like that, because then if you're in a case of everyone finds mobility boring, but it's the same thing with classes, and like we all say, like, no one likes doing a sweaty workout on your own, but do it on Zoom with everyone else, and it's actually all right. You're with friends.
It's better suffering together than.
And do the same with ROMWOD, and I like, particularly obviously like the Thursday class, the ROMWOD on the Thursday is that longer session that does focus on more things rather than being a bit more focused on one area. So you will get loads of stretching through your shoulders and your thoracic, and then your hips and hamstrings and everything else. So definitely worth checking out those, which is what else you can do.
Like we said about time wise as well, like you can hit a few stretches like while you're watching telly overnight, you can hit a couch stretch where you've got your foot elevated behind you or on your knee, like I posted in that little video before. Just hit that couple minutes either side. Longer the better, really. And
that's the thing, isn't it? It's that point of number one excuse for mobility maybe is, I don't find the time in the day.
Yeah.
But if you sit down and watch 20 minutes of TV in the evening, you can still watch TV while you're doing mobility.
Yeah, 100%.
And just hold a stretch while you're watching it instead.
Especially while we're all sat at home, not like this, like I am now. Stretching out your hips, stretching out those, like your thoracic, just opening up a little bit more, stand up, move around.
The thoracic is a big one, where everyone is sat at desk. I mean, I've just done it then watching myself. I've just gone down here, and you should be here.
Shoulders down.
Shoulders down, shoulders back, and straight, sitting up. And that's when I catch myself doing that a lot, and then I think, oh God, okay.
No, you don't have to.
When you're sat there at your computer all day, like actually having a stretch. If you haven't got time to do a full workout, fine, but
just 6 minutes on the clock. Do stretches. You don't have to like be hammering yourself on a lacrosse ball or a foam roller or anything. Just moving around, just hitting some, like, getting into a stretch, come back out of the stretch, just doing this, moving around for 6 minutes is going to be a hell of a lot better than just sitting on.
And it will work the same as doing a a workout, the way we say like you're always in a better mood after a workout, like
Yeah.
the mobility will be exactly the same.
Yeah, and it's like that little bit of an achievement thing. Like, okay, you couldn't make it an hour to get into a workout or whatever today, which is perfectly fine. Like everyone's busy and you've got kids and work and stuff to sort out. Like just 6 minutes could be 3 minutes. Do a 90-second stretch one side, 90-second stretch on the other side. You're done.
Yeah,
2 minutes.
Pick your area that you want to work on and go for it.
Yeah, and it's just like little and often, like daily, if you can, every couple of days, like while your food's in the microwave on your lunch break, it's got a clock on the front.
Yeah. Stretch chest out, stretch through shoulders. Or...
stand up, on a post, on a pillar, just getting moving during the day. Like, don't just be sat around. And the longer you spend in those positions, the harder it is going to be. Get back.
I think that's the other thing is we see sitting for 5-10 minutes doing stretching is like a long time for doing stretches. But if you compare, so your work day, an 8-hour day, sat at a laptop or a computer like this, 6 minutes of stretches as a percentage of that time isn't much.
No.
So it does take time. It isn't a short thing. So you can't expect to see an instant result. But those little things and all those little times that you put into it add up to a bigger result.
Yeah, definitely. Just that little 1%ers every day, just that it all adds up.
Yeah.
Last thing we want to talk about was just a bit of something on motivation and just having that bit of a focus in your training. I think Ellie asked me the day she was having a bit of a just one of those days where you just don't want to train, you don't want to do anything. It's like when she asked me like what motivated me to train at the minute, and like at the minute there's no open going on. There is an open going on, but are we going to do it in the gym, or we're going to do it?
We don't know how it's going to
know
work.
what you're training for. We don't know what the season is. Like there's no like guaranteed CrossFit events going on. There's nothing like that to train for. So I think having that little bit, just a bit of a focus, like for me at the minute, it's just, I'm just trying to get fitter. Like I spent a bit, I'm fortunate I've got a bike here, but I've been enjoying like just Ellie will finish work and we just go for a run, like twice a week, long one on a weekend, and just getting back into that fitness. You don't have to be beating yourself up every day, like doing
don't have to be doing those hard workouts.
Like I've got a heart rate monitor on, and my job is just to keep my heart rate down. It's easy. It's literally just time, and it burns a shed load of calories. So you're out there for 30-40 minutes, keeping my heart rate down, like moving at a steady pace. And it's easy work, really. It's just the motivation to get out. As soon as you started, you're going. And
once you're out, you're out.
Yeah, and everyone knows that when you get back, you feel great. Yeah, you get back and it's like that sense of achievement. Or you might look at your watch and you're like, okay, I'm running a little bit faster than I was before. Okay, I'll push on and do a couple more K if you're feeling good. If you don't, fine. But you've still done a hell of a lot more than you would have done just going, flip the kettle on, sit on the sofa when you get in.
I think that's it, isn't it? It's like the motivation thing it's not, don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed with all the things that you feel like you have to do. You have to do a workout, you have to do this, you have to do that. Actually pick one thing and work on that and make that your goal. Yeah. And then motivation will come from that. Is improve. Yeah.
Like you just said, not trying to focus on too many things at once. Like we're like CrossFitters, so you want to get good at your gymnastics, you want to do core stuff to get good at that, you want to do your weightlifting, your strength stuff, you want to do the Metcon, I want to do intervals, I want to do. There's too much to try and like focus on at the minute.
Yeah.
So just picking that, like for me, just that endurance side of things. I know personally that I need to work on my endurance a lot more than I will in my strength side of things.
Yeah.
So I need to work harder to keep that up. So this is perfect timing, really, to go and work on that.
You use the fact that when we can't get in the gym and do everything like we normally do, and focus on that one thing. Yeah.
And you'll notice a massive difference when you come back into the gym.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm suddenly fitter. I can do more training. I don't feel sore. I can then train more days of the week. It will have a big impact on other things, not just the fact that you're better at running.
Yeah. And that's it. And then that's exactly what we were saying with the like strength side of stuff. So having if you want to focus on lifting either better or more, then find a weaker area in your lifting. So, choose shoulder, thoracic mobility.
What's your weakest lift? And you can
work on that. And then when you actually go back into the gym, you find, oh, Christ, actually, I can still move it, rather than that fear of, oh, we're going to go back to the gym and I'm not going to be able to lift the weight because I haven't had a barbell.
No.
Like your strength will stay there. Like it's not going to disappear.
No.
But technique and ability, when you haven't been moving, will do. So
movement patterns, you have to
work on those and drill those in. Drill them in with a PVC pipe, and when you get into the gym and grab a barbell, it will feel surprisingly easy. Yeah,
exactly. That was a good thing to wrap it up on, I think.
Hey.
We're going to try and do a few more of these, just little chats on. I say little chats. There's a bit more than a little chat.
Yeah, how long have we been going on?
20 minutes now. Just some little topics. I think I'm going to try and grab Michael Roof and get him to chat about how to build your running up ready for the half marathon, how to structure your running. Obviously, put those workout plans and the running plans out, and for people to flick through and just pick and choose some stuff. But if you wanted to, Ellie asked a good question last night. Like, okay, she wants to do it in like one hit. Like, what does her training need to be over the next few weeks to build herself up to being able to run that sort of distance, which for her would be really good. Bearing in mind, in like the first lockdown, her taking her out for like a 4K was slow. Be careful, yeah. Be careful.
Yeah, don't say anything. He's being recorded.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, mate.
Alrighty.
Right, yeah. I'll get this posted and then we'll think of some more topics. And if people have got other topics that they want us to cover, then they can give us a shout. And then might even open this up and let people jump in with the sessions as well.
As I say, I think because if you find that they go well, then like I think doing one on like a Saturday after class and say, right, well, we're just this is what we're gonna discuss. Yeah. If you like sit in, got a question, like stick your hand up and
like we'll have maybe like me and you will have a topic we want to cover, and then people want to chip in and ask questions around that, and that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Good. Alrighty then.
Take care. See you in a bit.
Yeah. See you later.